What's up, everybody? We're doing brisket today. Aren't we lucky? Look at these. Now, these right here are the point of the brisket. Take a look at all of this beautiful fat right here. This is called intramuscular fat. It's also called the money muscle, which was my nickname in high school. So we got two versions of the point for you guys today. The first one is going to be untrimmed. I mean, look at this beautiful giant fat cap. Oof, that's pure flavor. The second one, we're going to be trimming down to about a 1/4 inch of fat. So why trim it all? Well, good question. There's a whole lot of fat on this guy. And if you don't render it properly, it ends up becoming kind of rubbery, and you're just gonna cut that off when the time comes. A lot of great pitmasters love to leave some of that fat on, but ultimately at the end, all that it comes down to is the flavor and the bark of it all. Now, when trimming, the goal isn't to make sure that this is perfect, right? Ultimately, what you're trying to do is just cut it down so that you can have perfectly even cooking. And all of this fat, this takes time to render, all right? So as you're trimming this down, you're gonna have a lot more control on your cook. All you gotta do is just find the web, that little connection between the two of them all, and it's gonna give you no trouble whatsoever. You're Spider-Man's new villain. And there you go. Now, do not throw this away, all right? We are gonna save this, cook it alongside it, and make some tallow. Okay, we got the top trimmed. Don't forget the bottom. Take a look at this. This is what you need to see. See this guy? That big ol', we can have him there. But don't you dare throw him away. This is gonna make the most delicious tallow. All right, we've got one trimmed and untrimmed. Now it's time for some seasoning. Alrighty, for a binder, I'm just using a little bit of creamy horseradish. Guys, you don't need a lot, all right? Just a thin layer. Using too much of this is just gonna make your seasoning gloppy, and it's gonna ruin your bark. All the way on the outside there, get all of your edges, because once again, we're all about that even cooking. Now, you heard me say it before, once the top is done, do your bottom. Once again, guys, nice thin layer. Don't need a lot for that seasoning to stick. And there you have it. Now, guys, brisket does not need a complicated rub to be delicious, all right? So we're just gonna keep this nice and Texan style, which means some generous salt. Try and stick with your finer salts. It allows just a much more even barking. The chunkier your seasoning is, the less even it's gonna be, right? Beautiful. And coarse black pepper. This is the secret ingredient, guys. This right here is going to give you that beautiful dark and crusty bark. Remember, guys, the bark isn't just for appearance, all right? It's concentrated flavor. Be generous about it, all right? The more generous you are, the more concentrated that flavor is going to be. And there you go. Once you've done the top, it's snowing on Mount Brisket. Look at that. And how's, don't forget on your sides here. Let me make sure. Beautiful. Now I'm gonna level with you. Brisket ain't cheap. Now I wanna make sure that I don't ruin this. So I'm gonna be using a meat thermometer. Especially helpful because this is definitely going to be an overnight cook. And Papa needs his sleep, y'all. So the cool thing about Typhur's Sync Gold Quad is that it connects directly to my phone. This is how it's gonna let me know that the temperature of my smoker might be dropping, so I should probably add some more pellets, but it also lets me know that I am reaching the target internal temperature for these bad boys. So we're gonna use 2 probes for each brisket. First one is going to right where there's the most amount of meat. Now this one's optional, I'm just being cautious, because you guys are watching. Now I'm gonna put them right here on the side, dead center of the meat. And same for our trimmed fella. We're just gonna put one here right at the top, and an optional one and 2 right on the side. Okay. And now we gotta set up the cook. You can do that from either the device or our phone. So the internal temperature that you want for your brisket is about 203 degrees Fahrenheit. However, some people, like myself, like to wrap it about halfway through. So I've set a custom alarm for 165 degrees Fahrenheit. This is the temperature where the bark is truly set and the brisket has hit the stall. Fun fact, when dealing with large cuts of meat like brisket, cooking can take a long time, especially when it hits the stall. It can feel like your meat has stopped cooking for hours, but in reality what's happening is that the moisture on the surface of the meat has started to evaporate, cooling it down. Kind of similar to how sweat cools your body down. So even though your smoker is staying hot, the internal temperature of your meat kind of plateaus, maybe even drops a little. The stall can last for hours, and it happens not just with brisket, but with pork shoulder, with ribs, heck, even turkey. So by wrapping it in butcher paper or foil, what you're doing is trapping the heat, and this can help push your cook forward. So we got my smoker going low and slow here at 225 Fahrenheit. Only thing left is to put these briskets on side by side with our tallow. Don't forget about that tallow now. Let the smoker do its thing and wait for Typhur to tell me if something goes wrong. All right. Shh. It's the middle of the night, as you could probably tell, but the app is taking care of everything for me, and it's letting me know it's time to wrap. So let's get to it. I'm gonna use that gorgeous tallow that I rendered from that beef fat to keep the brisket moist and to enhance its flavor. Then I'm gonna carefully wrap each brisket and put it back into the smoker, and we'll check back in the morning when it's ready. So our briskets have hit 203 Fahrenheit, so it's time to take it out, but don't slice into them yet. We're gonna wrap it inside some towels and keep it inside the cooler to rest. So after long hours of cooking, we've got two gorgeous briskets in front of us. We have the untrimmed over here on the left and the trimmed on the right. Right from the get-go, you can see that the bark looks pretty similar. However, we got a lot of bounciness and tenderness over here. This one seems to be just a little more firm. So now we gotta cut into them and see how they compare on the inside. Moment of truth. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. We got a nice cute little smoke ring happening over here. Good amount of fat and juice and tenderness coming out of there. That's a good cut. And now for his ulcer itself. There it is. Okay. Holy moly. So let's talk about this real quick. In our trimmed version over here, you can see a much more obvious smoke ring going around all of the edges. With our untrimmed over here, not so much where the fat is, but you can follow it all the way along the bottom over here. However, in terms of juiciness, there is no comparison. We got some great moisture coming out of our trimmed one. Oh, that does look beautiful. But our untrimmed, whew, you might as well bring a raincoat. Take a look at some of that. Oh my goodness, yeah, look at that. It is still pouring. Wowee, look at that. Ha! You can wash your car with that. You shouldn't. Now, the most important thing to note when you're cooking meat is the jiggle. Observe the untrimmed jingle. Observe the trimmed jingle. Not as much. Now, the ultimate test, the brisket test. Fun fact, the brisket test is the way of checking if your brisket is perfectly tender. If it bounces, congratulations, you've done it perfectly. However, if it breaks, I'm afraid you've overcooked it. The trimmed brisket, the untrimmed brisket, they both pass the brisket test. Check that out. However, it all comes down to this, the taste. We're gonna start with the untrimmed first. Extremely juicy, very tender. That just explodes in your mouth. Okay. Now for the trimmed. Also delightful. I will say I'm noticing the bark a lot more. Still juicy, but you're definitely tasting the leanness in that. That's delightful. So, after cooking both side by side, here's what we've learned. The trimmed cut definitely has a much more concentrated bark flavor and has a really happy medium between fat and meat. With the untrimmed cut, it's more of a subtle bark flavor, but you're just getting that rich, full, fatty mouthfeel. In the end, I think this just comes down to preference. Genuinely, they're both absolutely delicious. I think if you're looking to make like a barbecue platter, I'd go with the untrimmed, but if you're looking to make like a sandwich, I would say the trimmed is definitely your cut. Either way, both of these can turn out delicious if you smoke them low and slow, watch your temperatures, and give them plenty of time to rest, which is what's gonna happen to me when I fall in this food coma.